Live from the City of Angels, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk, and you know what it is. It's the Sunday evening spectacular. Going back to my DJ roots, when I was a rave DJ in Columbus, Ohio, that's a new track by a dude that I love, Farius. If you want to get some energy and get pumped, you listen to any Farius track that'll get you going here on this Sunday night, and we are excited because we are ready. It is Deadpool Wolverine opening week, which means we are about to see the biggest debut that we've seen in forever. More on that in a moment, but I do want to mention this. We need to get your take. What is the most disappointing film of 2024 thus far? We've talked about how this year has, across the board, been just a real disappointment for so many films that you had high expectations for. I'm not going to reveal my number one pick, but it's glaringly obvious if you've watched any live stream from me over the past several weeks in particular. But come in with those comments. Gone Girls got those. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we do have our big story tonight because it's finally here. Should have been here 2 months ago. Remember, the actor strike pushed Deadpool and Wolverine from late May to late July. And somehow we have survived through this summer when it looked like all hope was lost early on. And then we had some films come in and do much better than I think any of us expected, including Inside Out 2, a film we thought could get to 800, 900, a billion. Now that film is just $10 million behind Frozen 2 for the number one animated film of all time globally, which means we're talking about a $1.4 billion film. If you guys do not think that Deadpool and Wolverine can get to at least that number, there is a very good shot, and we're going to talk about the debut heading your way coming up on Thursday night. I'm going to see this film tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a live reaction / we haven't had one of these in a long time. This is not a review because there's an embargo, but we're going to give you at least my overall take on the film. Scott Menzel will join. We'll have him and his take, and then we will go through all of the tweet reactions and all review the tweet reactions. I love those shows. That's what we're going to do tomorrow night here on MMT. Look at the biggest openings ever for any film whatsoever domestically, stateside here in the United States. Avengers Endgame, 357. We'll never see that again, right? That was, you knew it when you went that weekend. You went to the multiplex, you're like, good God, every one of these screens is sold out. Not just the PLF. Every single available screen for Avengers Endgame sold out opening weekend. Everyone wanted to find out who died. What's the wrap of this 10-year odyssey of the MCU? We'll never see it again. It's never going to happen again, okay? So just remember that, and then you'll be okay with the fact that a film's about ready to come in here in 3-4 days and start its cranking of cash to the tune of about $200 million. Look at this. You got Avengers Endgame number 1. Number 2, No Way Home, $260 million, which was in 2021, which is, remember, that's when we were being told you can't leave your house. It's still dangerous with the COVID thing. So if you come, you're risking your life. And people are like, I don't fucking care at this point. I'm going to see the movie. 260 on that. Infinity War, 257. And you look at The Force Awakens at 247. You look at The Last Jedi at 220. Number 6, Jurassic World, 206. And Avengers, 207. Black Panther, 202. And The Lion King, the 2019 quasi-animated. A lot of people are saying, why is The Lion King not the number 1 animated film? Because they just slot it differently. I know it's animated, but it's photorealistic animation. It's not the same as an Inside Out 2, it's Despicable Me, a Frozen, right? You guys understand the distinction. Look at that, 191. We're going above that. I think we're going to get to at least 200 million, which means we could be looking at the 8th or 9th best ever opening. If it gets to 192, we're at number 8. Number 9, make that. If we're get to 203, we're at number 8. And you look at the last time we had a movie like this in the multiplex was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Midness. Right. Which is exactly what that damn show is. I mean, that movie is so forgettable. Here's my hope. I pray that this film is not going to be a film that lets you down. And if I have to say that tomorrow night, guys, I will come in and do just that. If you guys know one thing that MMT brings to the table, it is being authentic, fearless, and we don't need anybody else to tell us whether this film works or not. There's so many people in the space that have to wait. What does the group think? What is the average take on this film? Because I don't want to stand out. Are you kidding me? I love to, not because I try to, but I want to be the guy who will say what the reality of the situation is. We'll talk about a film again, and we bash back on Thursday. We're going to go after again tonight, a film that was not as great as you were told by the vaunted Rotten Tomatoes tomato score and all of the, chin stroking critics out there. Let's see. Is that Urswer Wearer? I can't even pronounce that. 170 million. Listen, you're going higher because everybody wants to see this film and everybody wants to see it first, which means you're going to drive everybody into the multiplex this weekend. It's not quite Avengers Endgame as far as I've got to see this now. If I don't see it now, it's going to be ruined, right? But there's going to be a lot of pop-ups. There's going to be a lot of fan service in that film. Ryan Reynolds is going to give it to you. So people are going to want to run out and see it before Twitter, before your friend ruins this film for you. So I would expect this film to at least be 185. I'm going to take it at 201, which is massive. It'll be the biggest opening we have seen since No Way Home back in 2021. Sotfic 220. I mean, I don't have a problem with these numbers because this all has built to this moment. Look at Twisters, $80 million this weekend, even higher than we had it at 67.5, which was higher than anybody. That film popped above even the expectations that I had for that film. So we are now here with Deadpool Wolverine. I know it's R. I don't need to go over this again, guys. I'm not going to do it. I'll make it really short. Parents are taking their kids. Do not think that parents are not taking their kids to see this film because they will. And as such, it's still going to have a number that looks like a 4-quad film because it kind of is a 4-quad film. I understand that it's not because it's R and there's violence and there's F-bombs, but kids are going to find their way into the movie theaters this weekend, and you're going to end up with, I believe, a $200 million movie. I want to mention this as we continue on with Deadpool Wolverine, and remember, come in with your comments. What's the most disappointing film of the year for you? This is my Secret Wars Wolverine from way back in like 1984. I told you that I used to be a geek. Like, I grew up with Star Wars and Secret Wars and Legion of Doom versus Superheroes, Super Friends, and all of that stuff. Man, on Saturday morning, I love Thundar the Barbarian. So this is my Deadpool. This is my Wolverine. By the way, do you notice this is how big of a collector I am? When I bought this, I didn't realize that the Black Clawed Secret Wars Wolverine is worth more than the Silver Clawed Wolverine. This was like a smaller production on this one. He comes with a little shield. I have this shit. Like, I'm at my core still have that geek, but I also grew up. You know who didn't grow up? Some of these grown men that are crying. They are sobbing over seeing Wolverine in his yellow suit. Did you see this shit? Guys, listen, I'm excited for this film tomorrow, and I want it to be great. And I want to tell you tomorrow night on the live stream that it is great, but guess what? I won't be able to unless it is. But a lot of these people that are like, oh my God, look, it's Wolverine in his yellow suit. Like Soups and all of those phonies, they're going to freak out like little children. Like, here, look, this is according to during the shooting of this thing, they said that the first camera test, there was a bunch of crew members. It was the craziest thing. It was a camera test before we started shooting to see both those guys in costume together was just mind blowing. But Hugh walking out in the yellow and blue, I mean, there were grown men like sobbing on set. We knew it was special, a very special thing. We want to love movies, and we do, but I'm not going to be in any kind of circle that watches a man come out into the open in a yellow outfit and start crying like a little baby bitch. It's just not gonna happen. So I just think it's a little weird how people get kind of religious about this stuff. We love movies, and I had to dig this guy out of the closet tonight for this. No closet jokes. If anybody comes in here, Gone Girl, with any closet jokes, you bounce them. They're gone. But I'm telling you guys, we just need to just chill a little and just enjoy the movie and not like live for this shit. We love it, but we don't want to make it our entire being and everything that defines us. All right, I also want to mention this. Listen, if you want Ryan Reynolds to get something done, dude gets it done. Look, he wanted to get Like a Prayer for the trailer. And I assume for the movie as well, because it's probably going to be like Barbie, where we get, right? Remember, you get that Barbie trailer, you've got the Kubrick opening, and you're like, okay, wait, that's in the trailer, and then it's in the movie. So I think we're going to see a lot of stuff that we've already seen in trailers tomorrow night. I'll kind of talk about that. It's going to be hard with this is not a review thing. But look, he wanted the song, and he gets what he wants. Here's the thing, is he paid a personal visit to Madonna, and he showed Madonna the sequence, and she's like, cool, plus you get paid a ton of cash. Let's not forget that they paid her a ton of money. But listen, this is a man in Ryan Reynolds. And listen, man crush, so what, dudes? I'm going to admit this, but here's what I'm going to tell you. How do you not applaud somebody who in their life has gone out and done every single thing that they've set out to do? This guy is from W to W to W to massive W to mid-size to, again, gigantic WW. It's just constant wins for him. From all the women he dated to the one he finally settled down with, he's got a family, he's got a football team, he's got a gin, he's got a mobile company. This dude is a license to print cash. So this guy is not going to be turned down by Madonna or anybody when he's trying to make this film. And I'll tell you what, I think that's going to be key to how big this film is and how good this film is the force of Ryan Reynolds. This man will be undeterred, and there's no way that he's not going to get exactly what he wants in the film. And I do believe if you look at Ryan Reynolds, certainly over the past decade, the choices he's made when it comes to film, he makes solid decisions. There's a lot of things he's in that I think are elevated by his artistic vision, not just the fact that he's in the film. He's a Tom Cruise, right? He gets in there and says, this is how we should do it. He has just a basic sense for what works and what doesn't, a talent that not everybody possesses. Clearly, we go after critics all the time for they don't possess any talent. They don't even know what's a good film. They rave about Oddity, and then you watch Oddity and go, what? This guy is a guy who's only going to hitch his train to a film or some kind of product that he believes in, which I respect. You guys know it's the number one thing MMT's founded on. Even if you don't agree with me, I'm never going to come on here and shill about anything. Everything that I rave about is because I believe in the film. I might be sobbing if Elizabeth Olsen was on the set in a super tight outfit. I told you guys the night that I was talking to her at the Beverly Hilton pool, and she was kind of flirting. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just telling you what the reality was. And I tried. Can I just say that one more time? If Murray's watching tonight, he's like, God, here's Olsen again. I gave it my best shot. I'm not going to tell you what the move was. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you I at least made it very apparent that if she were interested, so whatever, man. Listen, my life is all about do it. Okay, today, Gone Girl was like, when are you going to start the stream? I'm like, I don't know, 8:30. I'm riding my bike around Burbank shirtless. Just let me live my life. I don't want to just be talking about Wolverine in his yellow suit and crying like a little baby bitch. I want to live a life. Today I played volleyball. I mean, guys, no, that's what I do. I live a life outside of this, and I think it helps in the evaluations as well. But this is correct, Spidey Sensei. I would no doubt be crying over the appearance of Elizabeth Olsen in anything tight. I mean, that girl has a body that is slamming. Oh, Weber, you're so disgusting. Here's the difference between me and everybody else on YouTube. I can actually pull that. That's the difference. That's the big difference, and they know it. The film people, well, it's true, and well, then I guess we can't really attack Weber because he doesn't look like Jabba the Hutt like the majority of these guys. That's the difference, and I love to absolutely jam them in the face every time that we do that. Let's continue along here. Give me your prediction for this film. I got it. I'm going to take it at 202, and I'm going to hold that until Thursday when I decide. Actually, I can tell you tomorrow night if I'm going to hold that. I'm going to see this film, and I'll tell you if it's worthy of a $200 million opening. Can it get there? I don't think, and this is a great point, Elbow Juice, the reviews here are going to matter. Why are they going to matter? Because if you have a film that is another disappointment, and let's just do that next. Let's do your most disappointing film. Gone Girl, get ready with those. We're going to go there next. If this film ends up being another one of these Fall Guy, King Planet of the Apes, what else? Maxine, on and Long Legs, name a film that was disappointing this year, pick one. Just any of them will prove to be the answer. But if this film is another one of those, then I'm going to bring that number down. I have to bring that number down because I know that the word's going to get out that this isn't great. If I come out of this film and I'm raving about it like I was Ant-Man 3, watch out, then you know that we are going to $200 million. No question about it. Let's go. Let's do it. Most disappointing film of 2024 on the eve of my viewing of Deadpool Wolverine. I'm asking you, of all the films you've seen this year, and this is one of the worst years ever, I've said this multiple times, and anyone who says it's anything but a truly disastrous year from a critically acclaimed standpoint, then you're talking to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, okay? You're probably talking to Sean Fennessy, who said last year is one of the best years for film. What? Film fraud, right? We got another one tonight. Another one of our buddies who's a film fraud. We got to call him out again. I think he's AI generated. At this point, I believe that this guy is not a real person. I 100% believe this. What's your most disappointing film of the year? For me, guys, where am I going? You know it. It's Maxine. I mean, you're talking about an X and a pearl over my shoulder, again, as I point to these. And I tell you that these two films are some of my favorite horror films of all time. And to wrap that trilogy with one of the worst third acts ever in any film, okay? Ever. Not just this year. Ever. Okay, given what the IP was, given what came before, given the legacy of this trilogy, you're going to give us Maxine. You're going to try to do some kind of Tarantino finish that completely implodes and makes your film look embarrassingly bad. I mean, guys, that Hollywood sign, that whole thing looks like shit. If you're going to shoot something up in the hills that's supposed to be at the Hollywood sign, your letters HOLLYWOOD had better not be 25 feet high. They better be as tall as they are in real person. You need to shoot up there at the sign. I don't care if you get the okay. Go up there guerrilla style, Ty, and shoot it. They look like shit. And then forget the fact that Dad and the acolytes all there doing their fucking ritual. Horrible. Maxine might be at the end of the year. I might make that the worst film of the year because of what I expected from that film. And by the way, these are two great picks. These are great picks. Let me go off on those films in a minute. Let me tell you something. Is A24, I hope you see these streams every single time because you as a studio have no control over your creative talent. Zero. You've given us Beau is Afraid. You let Ty West make Maxine. You got to stop this shit. But you don't have anybody in your possession, in your arsenal of talent, quote unquote, that you have working there that has any balls to tell these directors this isn't great. You have test screenings, and I don't know what you do with a test screening. If you showed me Maxine 6 months ago in a test screening, I would have come out and gone, fuck me. Get Ty West and get him to reshoot the back end of this film. It's got to be completely overhauled. We got to rearrange everything. You can keep this, get rid of all of this, and we got to reshoot. I don't care if she's not available. If Mia Goth is already on another movie, we're going to wait. We're not releasing this movie. Like, guys, this is the thing that why I could never work for a studio. I would resign over that. Like I would, if I watch Maxine and you show me that, given my love of these films, if you showed me Maxine and I was in a meeting at A24 and we ended up starting to talk, I'd be, listen, guys, if you don't make Ty West go back and reshoot the entire back half of this film, at least the last 20 minutes, and rearrange everything, and I want the film to open on the doors in Hollywood. I don't want the fucking black and white, her as a kid. I don't want that. I want it out. I want all of it out. And you're going to rearrange it, or I'm going to walk out. I'm out of here. Like, I'm leaving. I'm going back to doing YouTube streams. I don't give a fuck, because you don't know what you're doing at that point. No one has that balls. Nobody. Well, what if I don't get another job? Who fucking cares? Stand up for what you believe in. And A24 has nobody in that house that has any kind of cojones whatsoever when it comes to telling directors what to do. Let's go back real quick. I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go to Civil War. I'm going to go to Fall Guy. These are bad films. Okay. Civil War. And I had someone come into the comments and say, Civil War, wait, is good? It is good? Guys, you don't understand. Civil War, from a directorial standpoint, is as unimpressive, not as bad as Horizon. That's fucking another level. This is truly, I mean, the decisions that he made, Alex Garland, after watching Men and now this, I don't even remember. I got to go back and watch Ex Machina at this point. I don't trust this guy ever again after watching Civil War. I mean, you talk about tonal disaster in that film. And also, it feels so small. It's like, let's just hang out in a van, and then we'll go through this little country town and the old automotive fix-it center, and there's some two rednecks. It's terrible. Guys, that film is, oh my God, it's worse than Maxine. Forget what I just said about Maxine. That's on me. I'm going to pull it back, and we're going to turn our focus to A24 again and just go with Civil War. Guys, I can't even explain to you how frustrating it is for me to understand that there are people out there that don't see that. Like, guys, I mean, look, I'm like physically shaking. You don't get it. It's so fucking terrible. The end of that film, where we end up with him playing that Suicide song, which is from, again, Mistress America, one of my favorite films of the past decade, cult film. God, I love that film. And he's playing that over there. She is with her brains blown out, and we're gonna have her stare at her on the floor of the fucking White House, and that it's so bad. God, that film's terrible. But Fall Guy is not as bad as Civil War. But Fall Guy is, from a screenplay perspective, the things that happen, the unfunny jokes, the unicorn shit, him doing drugs in the lime suit. It's bad. It's cringy. It's all of these things. And these films are being raved about by people. And I'm just like, guys, I'm just telling you, I'm going to let you know something. Something happened in the past several years. I think people's brains are being eaten. I believe there's an amoeba of some sort out there that is latching on to people's brains, and it is literally sucking every bit of intelligence out of human beings. Can I say it any more succinctly than that? That's what I believe, because when you read these takes, it's an alternate universe. Guys, this isn't even like the same thing. And you go on Twitter and you talk about a Trump, and you talk Biden who just dropped out, and we'll mention that later. I don't want to talk about it right now. But you look at the way people approach things, the way people view things, and I honestly believe that their brains are compromised. There's something wrong with how they process shit. And when they watch things like Civil War, or they're so tribal about things, they don't know what constitutes great. And I promise you, if I had a director on here who was completely fearless, like let's say Tarantino was on here right now live with me, and I asked him about Civil War, I guarantee you he'd tell you it's a bad film. I will guarantee you that would happen, because he knows. Any director who has talent watches Civil War and goes, what the fuck? This is, I mean, again, back to The Oddity, the film we're going to bash again. You watch that film, Horizon, and you go, guys, it's there. It's here. It's fucking, dude, it's right here. How do you not see this? It's here. I sound like Derry from Jeepers Creepers. Get Trish, listen, man, I saw a bunch of dead bodies down the tube. You can't go back. That's how I feel. I feel like Derry when he comes out of the tube in Jeepers Creepers. What's wrong with everybody? Long Legs is disappointing. Argyle's terrible. Argyle's a terrible film. Here's the thing, though, Sully. I had no expectations for Argyle. So the fact that film isn't great was like, wow, what a surprise. That is a bad film. Remember how what's his ass came out of there and he's recently saying, I don't understand why everyone hated it. Dude, again, these directors can't even see their own work. Guys, I've done streams that are bad, okay? 95% of them. But here's the thing. I would never go, oh, that's a great stream. Now, if there's a good one, I'd probably say that was pretty good. I know, and I'm fair to myself, a lot of people aren't. They're just not, right? It's that Homer Simpson looking in the mirror when he thinks he's in shape and he's like flexing his chest and he's actually a tub of lard. Remember that? I love The Simpsons. But that's how people view. They don't view the reality. I think for whatever reason, when I was born in this world, I view too much reality. I can't play like they live. I cannot play the game of pretending that this is the reality. No. The reality is this. And that's why we go to the MMT Gets Freaky and I show you some of this stuff because it makes you expand your mind and go, what if? That's all I'm asking. What if? Go back to The Village. My parents finally watched The Village. I talked to my mom after and I said, hey, I talk a lot about how The Village is the world. And go back to talking about M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, 2004, right? And she watched, and I said, now do you understand? Every time I come on MMT, she does watch the streams. She doesn't like when I curse, so be it. And I said, hey, we live in the village. And if you go outside the village, it's not what we've been told. That's what Earth is. That's what I believe. I do 100% believe that where we are is the village. And once we get outside of whatever those barrier is, if it's the Antarctic ice circle, and then that's not really a continent, but it's actually a circle and you go outside of it. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just telling you that the village is what I believe. And most people can't even go there. They go, that's a movie. Well, what do you think Hollywood loves to do? To show you shit and then say, oh, look, we're going to show you this. Like, look at Fly Me to the Moon. Look, we shot the moon landing. Oh, did we? It was a backup version. This is what Hollywood does. I'm not suggesting that there is an exact answer either way. There are people that obviously know these answers. I can't be privy to these things because I come on here and tell you we live in the village. For sure. I can tell you for sure. They'd be like, oh, Weber can't be trusted for shit. Of course I can't. I remember I had a director one time. I'm not going to say who, but I talked to the director about something I noticed in the film, and then they said, oh my God, how did you notice that? And then I went on and said, hey, I talked to the director and they confirmed that what I saw. And they were like, well, I can't trust you with a secret. I'm like, what are you talking about? I saw it. It's not a secret. I mean, I could come on here without your confirmation and prove it. But the point is that I can't be trusted because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to stop. If someone told me the truth, I'd be like, I got to tell you guys, here's what's the deal. The deal is we live in the village. And they'd be like, oh, Weber's saying some shit. We can't do that. We can't have, that's why the studios don't like me. He's going to come in after watching Deadpool Wolverine and say, guys, the reality is this film's not very good. It's not that funny. It's kind of annoying. Oh, Weber's doing his shit again. Oh my God. This is why we can't trust him. He's not like our shill of the week that we can trust every single time. Richard, don't come in here with, don't do this. Why are you making me remember Knox Gets Hard? I was like the only guy who saw that movie, and now you're coming in reminding me of Michael Keaton's second directorial feature, and it's bad. Okay, this film is so forgettable. My God, unforgettable. Wow, that's the wrong word. This film, I remember sitting through it going, who thought that this was a good idea? That this is, again, if I watched Knox Gets Hard and they showed it to me in a test screen, I'm like, you just have to bury this film. It's terrible. Michael, you're awesome. I love you. You're an American legend. You really need to be held in the highest of regards. But Knox Gets Wet is terrible. Richard, this is what we do. We talk about random films that no one has seen. Get ready, guys. It's time for are you guys ready? It's time for the shill of the week. I have to do it again. If you guys want to yell at me, I don't have a problem, but it is time once again to make fun of who do you guys think the shill of the week is? Everybody come in real quick. Go ahead, Gone Girl, pop them in. Who's our shill of the week, everybody? We're going to watch this person again. No, it's not Soups. It probably will be Soups after Deadpool Wolverine. It's not Soups. It's someone who literally can be the shill of the week every single week. And at some point, I'm going to be served a lawsuit that says cease and desist with hammering this person. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. It's our Shill of the Week. Again, it is Zach Pope. Let's do it. Let's watch Zach Pope talk about Twisters. Just listen, if you have a problem with what you're about to watch, I don't want to take the heat. This is not a me problem. This is a you problem because you are watching MMT. I'm not making you watch this, but I am going to make you watch Zach Pope rave about Twisters, but I just want you to listen. Yes, he's going to rave, but just listen to some of the words. Here we go.
All right, so we are totally living in a Glenn Powell world with his brand new movie, Twisters, because if you can feel it, you absolutely need to chase it all the way to the theaters this weekend to see this near perfect summer blockbuster.
Near perfect. Everything is near perfect, masterpiece, best movie ever this week. Can a guy ever just say this is a strong film, but there's some issues with it? Is that too hard? Is that too much to ask? Just help me, guys. Is it too much to ask for someone to say, maybe this isn't a perfect film? It's got some things that are good. I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know why I'm the only person who seems to be able to do this. I also want to go. You guys asked for it. I didn't really want to show you this, but I am going to show you. I just want you to know that I don't even know what I'm watching at this point when I watch this. Get ready. This is something that came across my Twitter feed the other day, and I said to myself, what is this clown show? You guys ready? Here it is. Everybody watch. It's not my fault I'm showing you this.
There's no reason to do that for this movie. The movie's making money. You don't have to do it. People are going to see it. This is not a situation where it's Marvel's and we're like, we got to show Tessa Thompson. Red alert, red alert. No, you don't have to do that with Deadpool Wolverine. Chill out. There's no reason to do that for this movie.
I'm just going to do this thing. Let's watch it again.
You don't have to do it. People are going to see it. This is not a situation where Marvel's and we're like, we got to show Tessa Thompson. Red alert, red alert. No, you don't have to do that with Deadpool Wolverine. Chill out.
What is this? Guys, why? Why does this shit even exist? But here's the thing. Whatever that is, that's our boy Brandon Davis, one of the biggest shills of all time. He's in the Shill Hall of Fame. Why is that even a thing? What is that? Imagine if I came on here. I mean, yes, I've danced to some music, but it's just weird how people get all freaking, look, it's my Wolverine figure, woo, yeah. Like, guys, just like, stop the clown act. I mean, we've done some horrifically bad streams, but I don't remember anything quite like that with 4 people dancing and screaming about some kind of thing in a trailer. God almighty. Michael, is it here? Can I just ask you a question? Is that not cringe inducing, right? I know we use that a lot. We say this person's cringy. This is cringe. But literally when I watched that first time, I go, holy shit, that's cringy. Like, I mean, whoever's done some bad things, said some dumb shit, but cringy like that? I mean, you know, you're just like, you feel that secondhand embarrassment, like, oh. I don't know, man. We're not going to do that. We might. There was one night I think I might. Did I take my shirt off in the stream? It'll happen at some point. But here's the truth. We're not going to be a clown show. I'm sure other people will certainly call this that, but we're not going to be that obvious of a clown show. We'll be a little bit more under the radar about our clown shows here. Let's go to a story that I don't want to really talk about. More layoffs in Hollywood. Guys, it's getting bad. And I'll tell you, I have a lot of friends in the business, and they're telling me that Hollywood's in trouble just from a job perspective, okay? Yes, we're doing really well theatrically right now, okay? No question. You look at a Deadpool Wolverine coming in here at $200 million this coming weekend. We're doing well, but the problem is a lot of jobs are being eliminated, and they are being consolidated, and they are being AI'd. Okay, so they're not saying it, but they are AI in a shit ton of jobs. Okay, and look here, this is Fox Entertainment. So this goes back to, you know, the network Fox. Okay, because, you know, 20th Century was purchased by Disney, but Fox is still around as an entertainment company that makes shows and has obviously the Fox network. But you look here, you talk about all these people that were laid off there the other day. Then you go back and you talk about things we didn't even mention back on Tuesday. Warner Brothers Discovery laid off another 1,000 employees. Not 1,000. across finance, business, production, streaming sectors. Everybody's getting just absolutely massacred out there. Disney, back on May 31st, 7,000 people laid off, right? I mean, Pixar, 175, and that's not a big company. It's a big number, 14% of that company. This is, look, here's the actual, look at all these jobs that have been lost. I mean, if you're in Hollywood, I'm telling you guys, you better watch your ass because it is ruthless out here. And truth be told is if you get cut from a job at one of these studios that you're doing something very specific, there's a chance that you are not going to get another job like the one you just had. So you're going to have to go do something else. You're going to have to do a career change, right? Staffers are always the first round of cuts, not a good outlook for industry as a whole. Exactly, because you're starting to pare things down because, and listen, at the end of the day, these businesses always want to streamline operations, make as much profit as possible. The guys at the top make the most. Everybody else gets less. And in this town, we have a bunch of people that love to work for these studios, so they'll take anything. Like normally, you couldn't get someone to take a job at a studio that's maybe menial, at another company, but because it's a Warner Brothers or Disney or Universal, they'll take it and be treated like shit because they work at Universal. I never understood that. To me, you have to have a great work-life balance. If you don't have a work-life balance, then you are going to be completely out of whack. And I talk so often about getting out there and experiencing the world. If you're working a 70-hour week in Hollywood, I have a friend who's a producer on a major show, and never's home. I mean, he's shooting 20 hours a day on these things. And I'm like, listen, I like money. I don't love money. I'll tell you this. You couldn't pay me enough money to be working 20 hours a day. Like, you couldn't. Here's $1 million. Like, do I have to work 20 hours a day for how long? For 5 years? Fuck that. I'm not taking the $1 million. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not doing it. Other people are like, oh my God, yeah, I'll work 24 hours a day for 10 years for $1 million. So it's really about what you value, and I value my time. I value my ability to go to the gym. I love my ability to go to the AMC 8 and watch a movie on Monday night. It's all about whatever you like, but I'm telling you, in the entertainment business, they get away with working people to the nub, and then they get them to pay them like jack shit because they're working at Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney, whatever it is. Blame all the money. Yeah, well, listen, Boca, it's there's a lot of mistakes that are made in this town. We know that. And then if you're at the top, you don't cut yourself. You say, oh, I made a mistake, so let's cut 25 staffers. Let's cut 100. Let's cut 1,000. I mean, guys, these poor people at the bottom, and now they're out here in this town that's very expensive. I mean, you can't even get into a one-bedroom out here for less than probably $1,900. $1,800 would be the lowest. Now, I understand it's expensive everywhere, but not like that. And then also you're talking about a town that doesn't have as many jobs in the entertainment business. So if you have one of those jobs and you get cut, you're not going to get, like I said, you're not going to get another job. And that's a problem for the entire industry. So we definitely feel for the people that get cut off and who lose their livelihood for the time being, because it's not going to be an easy road back. And I think a lot of people are feeling that. There's no question about it. Okay, let's do any comments you got. Open comment for a moment before I get to it. Gone Girl, anything you got, push right now. I'm going to get into Vigo Mortensen in a minute. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Steve. Really appreciate it. Saw Twisters. DEJ is hot. That is Daisy Edgar Jones. Glenn is handsome. I mean, listen, I agree. I think that they are a good-looking couple on screen. I get it. That's all I need. Stream, rented Horizon, got to see this shit. He says bad, but Sienna Miller I love too. Keep fighting, you're right. McDonald's love. Thank you. Appreciate it, Steve, for the super chat. And also, listen, I know we go hard on stuff like Horizon and just went off on Civil War and Maxine. It's because we want better films, guys. It's not personal. I mean, for Ty West it is for sure, because I can't believe he thought that worked. I mean, listen, guys, I'm doing a stream. It's a live stream. I'm just goofing around on YouTube. We're not even on Twitter tonight because I think I lost my verified. I couldn't go live on Twitter. So what? We don't care. I told you guys, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just like doing the stream. And if 5 people like it, if 1 person likes it, Gone Girl was here from the beginning. Gone Girl likes it. I'm good. Like, that's all I care about. I'm not Gore out here trying to like, how can I get as much money and as many views as possible? That's not ever entered my mind. I'd rather talk about things that interest me within the space, and then randomly things that like are weird. So that's okay. That's what I do. And I appreciate the fact that some of you enjoy the show. Some, not many, but a few. Steve, you're one of them, and thank you again. But listen, we do go hard, but it is what it is. Robert, saw National Anthem. That's, listen, What a perfect segue. Gone Girl, A+ for the producing tonight, because you just led us into tonight's MMT evaluation, which is National Anthem, and I am really high on this film. I'm going to show you a little bit of this trailer, and then we are going to get into why this is, without question, for me, and I believe if you see it too, it's going to be for you, one of the best films of the year. Here we go. Let's watch a little bit of the trailer.
You're Dylan, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I get this feeling that you don't have a ton of friends. I'm not your mother.
I don't really have time for that. I'm usually just working.
I'm not your brother. Parents aren't around?
My mom's around, but
Probably gonna be out real late tonight.
I am not your son.
You're still here. You liking it?
Okay, I'm going to pause right there because I have a bunch of things to say. Okay, here's the deal. Weird Channel does not cater to anybody. I don't cater what I do to anyone out there watching the stream. I'm not Gore. Gore filters everything through the personal political views of his audience, and certainly far right now. Okay, I'm not far right or far left. I am dead center, and I love anything that is artistic and works. And I can tell you right now, I already know, and this is going to be, I'm going to scathe. I have to do it on Gore. Gore would never like this film because he can't like this film, because this film features a trans actress. This film features, in this gentleman here on the left, I believe not trans, I believe the actor on the left is in drag. I know there's a difference, right? Okay. First of all, Gore would never do that. Gore would first off say this film's too gay. It's terrible because it's got a bunch of trans and gay shit. That's what Gore does. I'm not going to do that shit. That's not how I operate. Okay. It's not how I was raised. That's not, I told you guys, if it weren't for the gay scene in Columbus, Ohio, when I was a kid, I wouldn't be here tonight, because I went to clubs. I went out and I DJ'd. I hung out with an artistic bunch of people that were cool, and I was shown things that interested me and opened my mind beyond Columbus, Ohio from doing those things. So I'm never going to come in here and tell, this film's too gay. Oh my God, there's a trans actor. And I will pay someone this. If you go into Gore's stream coming up tomorrow, I'm going to go on the movie. Don't worry. I'm just going to go off on Gore because this is a perfect moment. This is a perfect moment for this. I will pay somebody to go in there with a super chat and to say, Gore, Weber said, and I guarantee you, I'd love to hear him say, no, he won't. He will say, because he knows he has to. Alan will say, this is gay. That's not how we're going to be. I'm not doing that shit. That shit's fucked up. Okay. And it's also pathetic. I'm going to hammer you, Gore, again. You are a shell of the man I met years ago, a shell. And as one of our mutual friends put it, an embarrassment. Okay. Remember that. I would never want to be called that. Okay. I've got all kinds of shit that people say about me. I'm none of those things. Okay. Now we're going to get back to the movie, but I'm going to mention that because I think it's perfect time for that. This is what you get from me. You get somebody who's going to tell you that this film is a very, very good film. And here's why. Forget the fact there's a trans actress. Forget the fact there's a man in drag. Doesn't matter, okay? I just want to bring that out because it needs to be pointed out. People have problems with that. I don't, and I'm not going to grade a film that way. I've always said that. It'll never happen. This film, from an aesthetic level, is exactly what I want. Very Chloe Zhao-y, very grounded, and that's what I want to watch. I want to watch real characters in the real world interacting with real life situations. And this film deals with this kid on the right who is looking for work, goes out to a ranch that turns out to be a ranch that is full of folks in drag, some trans, and gay in general. And he gets there and realizes that he may be sexually fluid. Okay. I'm just telling you guys what the film is so you understand. If you go watch this, you're going to be like, you're not going to come out and go, oh my God. If you have a problem with those things, that's okay. I'm not going to actually hammer you for having a problem with that. That's your deal. But I'm going to tell you this, that I want you to have an open mind. That's all I'm asking you to do. It's all I've ever asked here on this channel. And if you can do that, then that's the kind of person I want to be around. I don't want to be around people that are going to be on a stream saying this is terrible because it has trans, because it has gay, whatever it may be. Because this film has really great performances. The kid on the left is so good. And if I had a supporting actor, and it's interesting because, like I said, I believe he wants to be identified as in drag. And I know this is like, I think I'm saying all this right. I'm not suggesting that I know everything about this. I'm just telling you how I view it. And I believe that performance is really unforgettable. One of my favorite of the year. Bring back that super chat if you can, Gone Girl. I want to see. I didn't get the rest of that we had about this film, because I love to see other people that like this film and are open-minded and enjoy this film. One of the better films. Cascade, great performances, and and that's, it's got all the direction on this film is one of the best of the year. And I really, really enjoyed every moment of this film. I only have it at 90%. I would probably bump that up. I put this number in earlier. I'd probably put that more to 92, 93. That's how much I value a film that is showing you some things maybe you've never experienced, maybe you've never seen, but also doing it in a way that everything feels like these characters I can meet in New Mexico, where they shot this film on a ranch. And if I ever meet this director, I got to pull him up, his name. He's very, very talented. And he also did some music videos before. I think this is his first feature, maybe his second. But this is a film I highly recommend. But remember, if you have a problem, I love Martha. Listen, remember, going back quickly on that, I love Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. First time I've said that right. Thank you for giving me the crib sheet to look at. When you look at that film, that's what I talked to Elizabeth Olsen about that night. Let's just go from talking about National Anthem to Elizabeth Olsen again, because we love all kinds of women. But this film is one of the films I really hope you seek out and you enjoy. But you have to know that Dex Wilso. Yeah, great. I love that you guys like this film. And again, Gore can't do this on his channel. He can't do what we're doing right now because his audience would lose. They'd leave. And like I said, I'm not doing this channel for anybody. I'm doing this channel to spread great cinema. And I believe that National Anthem is one of the best films of the year for me. And it'll be probably my top 10 of the year, because it is exactly what I'm looking for when I watch film. Exactly. And look at the films that I have at the top ranked, right? What films do I have ranked as the highest films of the year? You can tell what my taste is. Number one is, yes, of course, Asphalt City's way up there. Handling the Undead's my number one. And also now here you have National Anthem. You're going to say Handling the Undead it's a zombie film, but it's so grounded, man. It feels like it's a real life situation. These are all quiet, simple films. Now, listen, Asphalt City's not. It's grounded, but there's moments in these films that there's not a lot going on. There's nothing wrong with that, man. So many people want shit 24/7 here. This didn't have enough action. One of my buddies that I really respect, Rodrigo Salem, follow him on Twitter. He came in and said this film doesn't have enough conflict. Listen, I don't care. I will watch a film that has minimal conflict if it shows me a life that is true, organic, grounded. And these things are realism. I'm looking for that in my movies. As much as you can get in there. If you're a director, if you're a writer out there, write your characters so they feel like they're not fake. So you feel like these are real actions by these people. I don't care if the film is completely ridiculous. Go back to Handling the Undead, a film that's about a zombie outbreak. But everything in that film feels like how you would react to what was happening around you in the grief that you feel. Looking forward on this based on your recommendation. That's why MT's number one. Thank you, Johnny. And again, the reason I have to put this disclaimer in there is because I do understand that there are people out there who may have an issue with that. And again, I'm not going to judge you for that. Maybe you're raised different religiously, maybe whatever your beliefs are. I'm not going to crucify you for that. And I'm not using that because of that. I'm just saying I'm not going to do that. Because I believe that we can have all kinds of different opinions, unless you're talking about Horizon or Civil War. But if you're talking about anything else, I can at least understand if you can explain why. Maybe you were raised super religious. Fine. But I'm just telling you, when you watch this film, if you allow it to do with an open mind what it's really built to do, you're going to be moved by this film. And I really like the film. I'll probably see it again this week because I love the overall mood, grounded, and aesthetic of this film. One of my favorites of the year, National Anthem. So yeah, that's why we're the only, listen, we're just a weird channel. I get it. It is what it is, but it's never going to change. What we do is exactly what we do. And you guys know what that is. It's be fearless, it's authentic, and to recommend films we love. And I know it doesn't fit all the check the boxes of some of the people. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gore. I'm sorry, Alan, because again, when you say a film's too gay, it's like Challengers. It's gay. Why do you guys watch those? Why do you watch them? Why do you watch Alan and Chris? What? I need to know an answer, because if you come out of Challengers and say it's gay and that's why it's bad, I don't ever want to hear you again. Like, it's off. I'm never going to watch again, because it's like, it's so close-minded and pathetic. It's so simple. I don't want to think that way. So simple, right? So just like basic. Oh, all of this is bad because of this. No, that's not true. Life isn't like that. Life is like, you don't know what anyone is going through. And I know even I struggle with this at times, that you have to understand that everybody has a different story. And I think, truthfully, if you can interact with as much respect as possible, and yes, I come on the stream and hammer people, and I hammered Zach Pope because he's shilling. I can't stand people that are fake and phony. If you're real, I'm going to love you. Even if you don't love something, or you love something, hate something, if you're real, I'm going to love you. If you're fake, I'm going to hate you. I'm going to be like, I don't want to, I can't stand phony people. Ugh. And Zach just feels, I wish Zach could be a real person. That's what I'd tell him. Zach, I don't hate you. I'm just going to tell you, I wish you were a real person. You come across as a phony person who doesn't really know who he is. You need to get rid of the act and be real. And that's what we do here at MMT. I was watching Film Threat until they begin their endless acolyte content. Alan usually has good taste. He's got, well, here's why. You know, we only have 10 minutes left. Let's do a few more open comments. I might do something freaky on the way out. I think I had something else in there, but we're going to leave it tonight because I think we've done a good job. I really love highlighting. Oh, we got ShelbyOaks. I do want to talk about ShelbyOaks because this is something I want to get to. But listen, I'm telling you guys, Alan is compromised. Quickly, before I get into ShelbyOaks, which is Chris Stuckman's horror film, which debuted in Montreal last night. Let's talk about the reactions momentarily on that, because I do want to get that in. That's a big story. But let's talk about Alan. Alan is compromised because Chris is telling him he has to say this because the audience wants to hear this. It's like being at the Republican National Convention. If I come on there and talk about abortion is good, I'm going to get booed. You have to say what the crowd wants to hear, and that's what Film Threat is. I don't, first of all, care what my crowd wants to hear. I'm going to say what I believe to be true. So there's a difference, right? It's all about your intention. If your intention is to parrot the lines that the people want to hear about whatever the given topic is every time ad nauseum, that's what it is. And that's what Gore's been telling Alan. Alan can't come on there and say Challengers is great because Chris is going to go, but isn't it a little gay? So childish. Like I said, Gore has fallen so far. It's as one of our mutual friends said, an embarrassment. I mean, that's bad. Guys, if someone said Weber's an embarrassment, what? Because I take a fucking selfie because I said a film's terrible? That's not embarrassing. Embarrassing is getting on a live stream and saying this film's bad because it's gay. What? Dude, it's an act. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. ShelbyOaks. Let's talk about Chris Stuckman debuted his film in Montreal. Weird place to debut it. I think it's a Fantasia Fest, but small festival. And I think what's weird about this film, before I get into some of these reactions, is the fact that they don't have a release date on this. Neon picked it up, right? Neon said, we'll take this film, but you are going to hold it until like next year. All right, let's go a couple of tweets on this. ShelbyOaks, this is against Chris Stuckman. I'm going to tell you something about this film. I have not seen it, but let's just be honest with each other, right? It's what we do. Let's just be as unvarnished as we can. If you are the most popular YouTube movie person, which Stuckman arguably is, right? I think he has the most subscribers, most views. He's viewed as, the god of YouTube film. So be it. I don't think he's great. I think he's boring, but that's okay. Listen, I'm just saying I can't argue with the views and all that. He's been doing it for a long time. Doesn't make you good because you've been doing it a long time. Okay. But I just want to throw that out there. Because he's viewed as that, he's going to have to come up with a hell of a debut because people are going to want to be impressed. So if this film does not impress, then you're going to be in trouble. And you got to understand the expectation level is going to be higher for Chris Stuckman, even if it's his first film. It doesn't matter because of who he is, than it is going to be for some no name. So as I say that, just know that if I see this film and I get hard on it, then it's because what I just said. You know, if you're going to be a guy who's been doing film for a long time, listen, I'm writing a screenplay. You guys know that. I'm going to be, listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. When that screenplay gets made, and it will be made, if it ends up being exactly how I write it on the page with my partner and that thing gets made how it is, I expect you to go hard on it. I expect you to say, this doesn't work. I expect you to do that. I do not want you to come in and say, this is great because of no. I want you to say, this wasn't good. You sold it as this. It's not that. And also, I don't even think you're that talented. Go for it, man. I can handle that shit because I know that when I come on the mic live, nobody can say that. They don't say that about Weber. Weber can bring the shit. He brings the heat and he knows what he's doing. And he can also do this thing live for an hour. I don't have 4 fucking people doing a clown dance during the whole thing. I know how to do this. And the point is that I expect to hold myself to that standard when I write something. I'm not writing something that's going to be bad. I wouldn't even bother. So I'm going to, as I go back to ShelbyOaks, if Stuckman did not make something, I would argue very good or great, he's going to be in trouble. It's really, you guys understand what I'm saying about this, right? Okay. David Cuervas is a family man. No idea who this is, but it's one of the reactions I found. Unfortunately, I was not Stuckmanized by ShelbyOaks, a well-intentioned trope fest with an abundance of archetypal characters. Falls for similar issues with Oz Perkins' Long Legs. Oh no, does that mean there's a doll that's possessed? As both dabble in overwrought narrative convenience, some fun scares, but nothing memorable. Ugh. That one really hurts at the end. Nothing memorable, right? Because remember, Stuckman's going to be held to a different standard here. And if he has not created something that's memorable, unique at any level, if he's just making another found footage kind of thing about a demon that followed his friend around when he was a kid, whatever that is, I'm telling you it's going to be trouble. So that's why you're looking at this. I can understand how someone might have a pretty harsh reaction. Let's look at Clint Worthington. I think I've used Clint before. I don't remember if it's because he was a shill. I remember using Clint about something. Hold on. Let me see who this guy is. Give me a second. He writes for Ebert Voices. So he's going to be a chin stroker. So Clint Worthington is a chin stroker. Let's find out what he had to say. ShelbyOaks, it's clear Stuckman is a horror fan. The heaps of pastiche. Why do you say that? Pastiche. My bad. On everything from Blair Witch to Rosemary's Baby to Hereditary, make that clear. But his debut feels like a grab bag of regurgitated horror influences than some bold new vision in horror. Not good, right? So you've got all of these threads from other films, and then it's not anything original. These are bad. These aren't great takes, guys. So here's the thing. It's to be expected. If Stuckman thought people would go light on him, he's wrong. It's the opposite. Any comments here, and then we'll get ready to wrap. I'm exhausted. That was a fun stream. It was an hour. Once I get to an hour, it's like I done it. Gone Girl, any comments about this? I really believe in ShelbyOaks at least being decent. I hope so, Mega YouTube. I hope so. I don't want to be disappointed by the film, but I'm also not going to go into it saying, hey, it's Chris Stuckman, it's good. You guys know that. I'm not going to. He's going to be held to a different standard. It's going to be. I'm sorry. It has to be. Stuckman needs to stick to landing the similar. Yeah, exactly. Richard, they were YouTubers, right? Great point. Richard, you have some good comments here tonight. I want to give you some kudos. Let me tell you, great comment, and I agree. You have to really make it good. Listen, here's what I'm going to say about ShelbyOaks. I only gave you 2. There's probably more. There's probably people that said it's good, but I'm going to just, okay. I know I picked 2 negative ones, but I'm just going to say this, that if this film is not artistically interesting, is not impressive from directorial standpoint, not just capable, not just okay, it needs to be, I would argue, exceptional. Stuckman doesn't make another movie. It's not going to happen because listen, you can only get so far on a name and the novelty of Chris Stuckman making a movie. If it's not great, then Chris Stuckman and his career as a director will likely be over because he's going to have to fund his own movies because Neon's not going to pay for it next time if this film doesn't blow him away. I think Neon picked this up because it was cheap. They said we can make, what was it, like $1.5 million to make? Let's say they paid $2 million for it. They can make $2 million back. They'll easily make $2 million on ShelbyOaks, whether it's theatrical, even if it's low on theatrical, they can make it selling it streaming. So it's a smart play business-wise. Here's the question. Is it a Neon horror film? As much as I hammer some Neon films, and someone said I'm a Neon show. Hell no. I like Neon because they have a very good eye for direction. Okay. Tom Quinn, really smart guy. He gets it. But if they picked up this film only to be Stuckmanized or whatever the hell the saying is, then that was a mistake. So I would actually, if I had seen this film, I wish I had seen it. Again, the studios are never going to hire me, but if I had seen this film, I would say we're not buying this film. I don't care if it's Stuckman; it's not good. It's okay. It's an okay. I don't know yet. I'm just telling you, you can't just purchase a film and put your label on it because you see Chris Stuckman. He has to deliver. He doesn't get a special deal. He doesn't have a special, hey, it's Stuckman, it's his first film. If anything, people are going to be harder on him. Just like when I write my script, do you think people are going to be like, oh, well, that's Weber, it's good? No, God, film Twitter is going to want to destroy the film. If this film gets made, which I expect to get made, the film Twitter people are going to be like, we are going to destroy it. And then they're going to go, fuck, we can't destroy it. It's good. Oh, fucking Weber. This guy is so infuriating. Why can't we just hammer it? Well, you can try, but you're going to be wrong. That's the thing we talk about the talent. I bring the heat, and they know that, and they can't say anything about it. Please give Fresh Kills a watch at home. It's a small indie film you missed in theaters. I saw the trailer. I didn't like the direction, Mega YouTube. Thank you for the super chat, but I didn't. The problem is again, when I watch a trailer, I need to see direction that says, I want to watch this film. National Anthem, direction, I want to watch the film. Asphalt City, direction, I want to watch the film. If I was not blown away by the direction and the technical prowess, cinematography, edits, the way this film's assembled from the trailer, I'm not going to like the film. It could be a great screenplay, but I have to be brought in by direction, and then I will then I have to see what else is there. If the direction does not impress me, and I remember watching the Fresh Kills trailer going, again, remember, let's just do one more thing. I want to do this. I wanted to get to this because I didn't get to it. Because I think it's perfect. We have another film fraud before we leave. Our film fraud of the week is, I believe, maybe the biggest fraud in the entire space. So let's just do it right now. Listen, this is a person who is, I believe, AI generated. And if not AI generated, has quite possibly the worst taste of any quote film voice. I don't even know how this person's a film voice, honestly, with some of these takes. They're fucking terrible takes. This person, also the same person that said, Weber's taking pictures in a credit-filled screen in a theater that's emptying out with everybody running for the aisles. Oh my God, what a terrible person. There's people getting up out of their seats, walking in front of me, but I want to watch who the key grip is. You guys know who we're talking about. We're talking about our boy, our AI-generated dweeb, Strange Harbors. You guys ready? This, guys, I'm not going to go nuts because I'm fucking tired. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Jay, thank you for sending me this. If you're watching tonight, you're the reason we have this. This is Jeff Zhang, a.k.a. I don't know why I even bother calling him this stupid Strange Harbors. By the way, Jeff, if you're watching this, feel free to review a movie that's from 2024 or even 2023. The last film that's on his site, I went and looked, it's Resurrection, that Rebecca Hall film that had some things going for it, but also was like a little bit too fucking wacky for its own good. Resurrection, which is what? Was that 2022? Is early 20? Dude, instead of tweeting all day, Mr. Tough Guy, he's got me blocked. I would love him to unblock me because I blocked him because he blocked me. Otherwise, this guy is a joke. You guys ready for his take on Oddity? Oddity is as unimpressive a film as you will see in a theater, definitely this year, any year. 4.5 stars out of 5 for Oddity. Longlegs who? The First Omen what? This is the most fun you'll have at the movies this year. I think that he's either AI generated, and anyone who Patreon, if anybody pays this guy for a take like this, guys, listen, this guy liked Ferrari and Oddity. He doesn't have a career, but if he did, a career destroying take between Oddity and Ferrari, when you're recommending films that are as unimpressive as anything you'll see from a directorial standpoint, then you are, everybody, the stream's about over. Lightning round before we leave. I don't want to end on that because this guy's dweeb. Totally waste of time. Strange Harbors. Omega Swiper, if he's real, he's one of the most uneducated, clueless, laziest film person ever. How do you have a web page that's updated with the last film from 2022? Well, hold on, let's find out when Resurrection was out. Give me a second. It's a long time ago. I mean, I want to say 2022. Hold on, let me see. Was it 2023? Holy shit, guys, it was 2022. This guy has a page. His link is like, come check out my blog of a film from 2022. Oh my God. Like literally, and this is the clown who tries to come after me. The guy who brings the heat, does a show at least twice a week, is dead on with takes. And this guy, this fucking guy who doesn't even have an updated site that has a blog about a Resurrection from 2022 and reviews Ferrari and Oddity as great films. This guy is the biggest embarrassment. Someone clip this and send it to him. And if he unblocks me, I will bring it. He is the most pathetic film voice in the universe. This guy is a joke. This guy is the clown show. He belongs on that phase 4. He needs to be the 5th box dancing like an AI generated clown as he's on there with these people. Oddity's getting great. Listen, no, Seeking God's Will. You know what? Gone Girl, you brought Seeking God's Will, and I said, leave Seeking God's Will. Listen, buddy, I'm going to tell you something. You're missing a lot, dude. You missed Horizon. You missed Civil War. I think we're not the channel for you. I'm just going to be honest. There's another channel out there. Try Gore. He doesn't seem to have a clue. Maybe ask Strange Harbors to do a review of Oddity so he can tell you why it's so great. Dude, it's and Gone Girl, come in with your comment real quickly. Everybody think Gone Girl, give me your comment on this real quick. How bad was Oddity? I don't pay. I'm gonna start paying. I gotta start paying you. I'm gonna give you. You can't have my Wolverine figure with the black claws. But listen, guys, you have to understand that he came in and said this film's terrible. He's typing it right now. Gone Girl, bring it in. What was your take? Quickly. How bad is Oddity? And were you not like, I'm asleep 5 minutes into this? Thank you. Yeah, listen, he's not. Here's the thing. I talk to Gone Girl before the stream starts and usually after. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Never once we've disagreed on shit. I didn't tell him to say this. I told him to go watch Oddity and tell me how terrible this is or tell me it's good. And he goes, holy fuck. I go, I told you. Here's the thing. Seeking God's Will, back to you. Gone Girl, A+ tonight. We're going to wrap. Here's the deal. If you are recommending a movie as completely forgettable and unremarkable across every single facet of filmmaking that is Oddity, it's done. Guys, it's done. So whoever you respect, Seeking God's Will, that recommends Oddity, I'm just letting you know that I would never listen to anything they have to say forever, for the remainder of time. It's not, guys, it's there. Again, when I show you a film and it's sitting right here for you to watch, this is shit and you can't see it. Again, back to the brain eating amoeba. There's something going on out there and people are completely clueless because this is a 5 out of 100 at the best. I wanted to walk out. Terrible film. Our thing is over. Our stream's over. Back tomorrow night, Deadpool Wolverine, live here on YouTube, maybe on Twitter. I don't know what happened. I think I lost my verified check because I changed my picture to a shirtless picture. Before we leave, I'm going to do it to rub it in Strange Harbor's bitch little nobody ass again. This is what a man looks like. A man who doesn't need to hide behind AI generated bullshit. This is a man at the beach, shirtless, wearing a goofy hat and glasses. That's how we do it. We roll in realism in the real world. And no, it's actually vodka. But here's the thing is, we're real. They're not. We kick ass. They don't. MMT's over tonight. Peace out live from LA. See you tomorrow night about 9:30 for Deadpool Wolverine. This is not a review. Good night.